if you're anything like me, you're either home or you've got kids, so it's quiet, or but just, yeah, it's nice to have a little daytime call. Natural, beautiful lighting. So those that don't know me or watching the recording, I think I know everybody else here. My name's Tina, and yeah, I'm a bit obsessed with not just oils and everything low tox living, but crystals is my other passion as well. So, and I use them together day to day. So when we were talking about doing a call for good vibes, I was like, yeah, let's throw oils and crystals in the mix and other sort of tips and tricks from Cress. So yeah, thank you, Cress. Awesome idea.
Can I ask you, how did you get interested in crystals?
Yeah, so right back in high school, actually. So I was always one of those ones that just anything that came along that I thought I was interested in, I was like, I'll do that, I'll learn that. And being in a smaller town, we actually had like a little TAFE learning centre here that would like advertise, like get things brought in, like courses and things, and then advertise them to the high school, etc. So kids could go and learn like extra things, because we didn't, like, the high school's not huge, obviously. So just, I guess, to give more opportunity. So anything that came along, I did it. It's kind of then how I found a love for, because my other side or other career is actually in IT. So that's actually how I found my passion in both computers and crystals, was through learning and doing all these extra courses when I was at high school. So the first one that came up that actually led me into crystals was massage therapy. So I did like a Swedish massage and sports massage course, which landed me an after-school job in the local like health store where she did massage, and then she got me into aromatherapy and crystals. So that's kind of how it all happened. And then my head won over my heart when it came to choosing a career after high school, and I followed IT, and then ended up, by the time I had kids, kind of came full circle back to all natural therapies. So yeah.
Love the way it sort of works out like that.
Yeah.
My name's Cressida. I know that I know all of you guys here, but just if anyone watches the recording later, I first started using crystals and oils actually in school as well. I was a mad fan of going to the Paddington markets and getting my cards read and all those kind of things, really, from an early age. And the first thing that really sparked essential oils for me was actually a trip to Egypt. And I still have the super gross smelling oils that I purchased for my mum to replace. It was like, you know, a natural essential oil to replace her perfume that I bought when I was 16 in Egypt, you know, at some kind of touristy place, but she happened to keep them, and they still smell just as powerfully kind of chemically gross. But, you know, it was right there, right from the beginning. And so I am the same as you, Tina. It's sort of done lots of different things in the meantime, but always kind of come back to it. And for me personally, I find crystals and oils just a really beautiful way to ground. I can be a little bit like you. I've got a very thirsty brain, and I can get very much out of side of myself. It really just helps to bring me down and keep me grounded, which is what I love about them. And the other thing I'll do too, I'm just going to grab something here, is that I will have them on my desk. And so I've just got this beautiful one. Can you see the little heart eyes in the skull there?
That's
and
adorable.
I just feel that somehow it just feels like energetic support. So whether you believe in it or not, can we have a little one in the chat if you love crystals? As we know, we all love oils, but let us know if they resonate with you. Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
And chuck a 2 if you're a newbie, if you've like never delved into them, don't even own one. It's good to know. Or maybe have one, but you just, you know, don't really know much about it or have any others. Yeah. So, because like Cressida, yeah, they're throughout my house everywhere. They've been collecting them so over the years. So yeah, and I've got them all over my desk at the moment, so that I usually have them on my desk, but some that I can hold up and show as well. So that's really cool.
Oh, sorry, I just lost my screen. Would you like me to start with
yes
the other? So I'm just going to share a presentation, and then, because we both did one separately from each other without talking to each other about it, because
we thought we didn't have time, so we were like,
overthinkers here. And so we've both done stuff, and in the end we'll kind of put it together, but we'll just take turns screen sharing. If I can find, hang on, sorry, I forgot. Hang on, I've got to find the screen that I put it on again. 1 second. Okay, I'm too embarrassed to show you guys how many tabs I have open, so I want to make sure I try and open the right one. Maybe you can see my tabs. Hide the tabs, hide the tabs. Where is the little thing that says present? Sorry, I can always, everything gets in the wrong place. Now you see all my tabs. Present. Okay. Now my tabs are hidden. Yeah.
Normal for me, Cress, to have that many tabs
on my deep sense of shame about
no, on my computer and in my head.
Oh, yeah, definitely in my head. I actually shut quite a few before I started. Anyway, so this is, manifesting good vibes with Tina and Cressida. And then, as Tina mentioned before, just sharing how we are really focusing on how we create a bit of an energetic haven at home using crystals and pairing them with our beautiful oils. I thought I would start with just what we mean by, hang on, I've got my little box out of the way, sorry. Oh no, how do I, sorry. What is manifesting? So we talked about manifesting good vibes. So it's just the process of kind of bringing something into your life by really focusing on it. And obviously, side note, if you're thinking about all the negative things in your life, guess what you're going to attract more of? And if you're thinking about good things into your life, that's what's going to come towards you. That's a beautiful thing that I love to share with my children, as I'm sure you do too, Tina. And just a little sort of snippet on what manifesting is. And Tina, if you just want to jump in anyway, just do it, because I can't see your face now. So just, oh, did I just go too far? There. Oh no, sorry. And then just a little bit about what aura, energy, good vibes are. And so some people, actually, Kerry, Joe and I have been practicing reading people's auras, because we've done our Reiki 2, level Reiki 2 together, and really practicing doing that, which is really fun. But it's really just the energy field around things. And we know that that can be measured actually with physics. So it can be measured with science. It's not a created thing, but it's whether people can read it or not depends. And I believe everybody can do it, but it really is about practicing that skill. And it can be affected by, I'm assuming most of us know when you walk into a room where people have been arguing, even if they're not arguing anymore, I'd love to see a 1 in the chat if you can feel that and you just know that something is up. And then here, I'm going to let Tina jump in and talk about, see if I can get your face up here, talk about her favourite crystals that she shared with me.
Awesome. No, can everybody see me on the screen as well as the slide? Because I do have crystals with me as we go along.
I can see you on the screen.
Yay! Awesome. Yes, as Cress said, it was so funny that we both quickly this morning in our bit of spare time threw together little slides when we thought we didn't have time. So thank you. That's beautiful. So these are some of my favorites. There are so many to choose from. So I recommend Google's your friend. You can get even resource books, like these little simple books. This one's called The Crystal Bible. Little books like that, so you can get reference guides. So if there's something particular you're looking for, they've got like an index, and you can jump on and look up sleep or whatever, much like our reference books. So if you're not sure where to start or what to choose, we've got guides out there on Google. Also, you can search crystals for sleep, etc. But these are some of my favorites. So yeah, I'll give them a quick run through. Amethyst is probably a well-known one that most people would have seen or heard of. This is a beautiful big amethyst that sits on my desk, actually. And I've even got a little, can't pick it up because the board's not long enough, but I've got like a little light, like on a bamboo block that lights this one up. It's beautiful lit up. So yeah, promotes peace, love, courage, happiness, and a sense of calm. So amethyst is one of those, I guess, kind of like lavender with the Swiss Army knife of crystals, because it's got so many amazing attributes and you can kind of use it almost anywhere. So it gives you courage and creativity, but it's also calming. So it's great for sleep in the bedroom, or you can have it on your, office desk. So it's really good like that. And yeah, so you can pair that with oils either for sleep or creativity and inspiration, joy and happiness. But a couple were like inspiration's a good blend you can put with it. Clary sage, jasmine and lavender, a couple of others that are suggested that go well with amethyst. But one of the things I normally say to people, if you're not sure, yes, you can look it up. But, much like we do with our oils, so lavender, knowing that it's, you know, calming and sleep, you can pick those same calming and sleepy oils. Color is another way too, like if purple and purple, so you've got lavender, it's purple, amethyst is purple, they tend to pair well together too. So color is always, it's same as when I jump into citrine, lemon goes and orange go really well with citrine too. So color, there's always a correlation there as well. Speaking of citrine, this is another one that sits on my desk. This one's super shiny. One of my clusters that I can't even remember where I got half of them from because I've been collecting for so long. So not only a stone of happiness, but also abundance and prosperity. So it is a really good one to have in your home. So the same way we talk about putting a jade plant near your front door to encourage prosperity for your home and your family, you can do the same with citrine, obviously in your workspace, because it's great for success and creativity. So you can have it on your desk. It is actually another good one for concentration. So even kids, if they're doing work at a desk, it's good to have around as well. As increases motivation. So it's another good one to have in your space. It's very uplifting and positive as well. And oil pairings such as abundance is really good with citrine, obviously. They go hand in hand. But others are sandalwood, grapefruit, and orange. So yeah, citrine's a huge, fave of mine. I've got little serene points that I quite often give to people in my oil team too. If they decide to do the business, I'll pop that in with some business materials because it promotes obviously abundance, which is really cool. Ask any questions at any time too. I don't have my chat box. Awesome. Celestite. This one's who went to Crystal Castle a couple of years ago? Anybody on here? Yeah, I actually picked this one up at Crystal Castle. I've been wanting to get myself a piece for a long time. And it was on
what's
sale. Crystal
Castle?
So down in northern New South Wales, we went when we did the, what was the name of that farm? The Gunnigan Farm trip. So we went to Crystal Castle. Look it up. It's amazing. If you get the chance to go, it's beautiful. I'm not really good with like exact location, but it's like up above Byron Bay, right, Kerry? I don't know New South Wales well enough. Bimby, yes, perfect, Heather. Yes, that's exactly where it is. It's beautiful. The whole entire place is like massive, huge crystals and gardens that you can walk around. It's just unreal. But they have a shop as well. And I was just lucky enough that that beautiful big baby was on special when we were there, and I'm like, I gotta have it. So yes, it's one of those ones that you just look at it and you feel how beautiful it is. So like bringing harmony and balance, I really feel like you feel that when you're around it and even looking at it. It's beautiful. So assist in holding the holder, finding and maintaining inner peace. And this was another good one that actually cleanses and purifies your environment and your energy as well as heightening the vibrations in a room. So that's obviously a good one to have around. What have I got for pairings for oils? Helichrysum, ginger, jasmine, cypress, and clove are ones suggested to pair with celestite. Beautiful. Want to go to the next slide for me? Okay, awesome. Rhodonite. I've had a love affair with rhodonite for a long time. It's actually one of the first crystals that I fell in love with. In my early days, I went to like a crystal party. It was like a crystals and jewelry kind of party. And I was just so attracted to rhodonite. And I was holding a piece as we were all chatting and talking. And if you can see on the screen, that picture that's there of the rhodonite, the pink with the black through it, it's quite pale pink. Well, the piece that I picked up was pale pink. And while I was holding it, chatting and talking, like I felt it get warm and sort of humming, I guess, in my hand. And my mum said to me, she goes, "Oh my God, it changed colour." And it literally went from that pale pink on the screen to like this bright, vibrant pink while I was holding it in my hand. And yeah, I just was like, oh, it likes me. So obviously I bought that piece that day, and it was a spear held in a necklace. And I have had a love affair with rhodonite ever since. So hubby got me this, I think it's only on my birthday, like recently. It's like a big slab of it that's on a stand, but I have like so many pieces, little ones, big ones. He actually bought me a sphere the size of a bowling ball one Mother's Day. So, but I can't show you because it's so heavy, I can hardly lift it. So yes, rhodonite and I have a bit of a thing for each other. And it is known as a stone of protection, bringing happiness, forgiveness, and peace. Aids in relaxation, stress relief, and attracts good health. Being pink in color also, it's that heart chakra. So it's got this whole love vibe about it, whether it's love relationship wise, self-love. And I think that's why it's one that I've always been kind of attracted to. Just, it's got this beautiful vibe about it. There, I would even put it above rose quartz quite probably. So you've got pairings like juniper, ginger, the oil blend acceptance are perfect to go with rhodonite, and any other love oils that you can think of. It depends on sort of, if you look up the use of the oil, obviously you can pair them together for what purpose you want as well. Lepidolite's another one that I'm a huge fan of. Purple's one of my favorite colors, so I'm quite attracted to purple ones as well. So I've got 2 pieces of lepidolite here because it comes in a few different variations. So I've got one that's actually the raw. It's a bit hard, my light might be harsh to show you. It's quite a beautiful lilac purple, and it's got all these little shiny inclusions in there, and it's quite what's the word, like fragile when it's in its raw state. Like, it feels rough, and you could feel like pieces could fall off in your fingers. But when they actually polish it up, you can see all those shiny inclusions in the polished, and then it's smooth and much stronger. I don't know how they manage to do that, how it doesn't fall apart, because it feels so fragile. But it's a beautiful, stunning color. That's lepidolite. As it says, light kryptonite to anxiety and stress. So it's actually got natural occurring levels of lithium. So it gives that real beautiful, calming, tranquil effect. I actually have it on my heart on my bedside table. So that's my sleepy stone. Anytime I have trouble with sleep, especially if I've got something weighing on my mind, I will just hold, because it's beautiful. My heart is like palm size. So I literally would just hold that in my palm when I fall asleep. And quite often in the morning, I wake up and it's on my bedside table. So I just, without even thinking, I'll fall asleep with it and put it so carefully on my bedside table. I don't even remember doing it. So it's, I would put that up there as one. If your sleep issue is having things running through your mind, especially, this is a really, really good one for on the bedside table. But also, because it provides clarity and relaxation, happiness and understanding. And then obviously those beautiful calming oils pair well with it. So your bergamot, lavender, your ylang ylang, chamomile. All right, next slide, pretty please.
Do you know, Tina, sorry, just to jump in here, I went to a crystal masterclass at a shop just down the road from you, Jo, that I can't remember what it's called, that new crystal store. It's not that new, but and this woman, she was incredible, but she ran a class and she said that you really should cover all of your crystals at nighttime and not have them in your bedroom because they're so activating. And I was like, I don't care if you're supposed to be a crystal legend teacher, I'm not having it. So I don't know if anybody, and I actually can't open the chat because it'll cover the presentation, but I'd be really curious to know if you have crystals in your bedroom. I have them under my pillow. Along with my little EMF things and whatever, and there's no way I'd be without them. So I mean, obviously, Tina, you're saying not you take yours to bed with you as well.
So, and I'll touch on a little bit after when I talk about how you actually cleanse, program, activate your crystal, because they do, once they have that energy, they constantly emit it. So she's correct, it's constantly actively doing and giving that energy. So I guess like those that are in my bedroom, which I'll touch on, I've put them there for a purpose. So even they would be emitting what I need, I guess, for my that space. So I'll touch on that a bit more shortly. But that's really interesting that she says I don't cover any of mine at all. I will say though that if you've got them, don't put them in constant sunlight. So maybe not necessarily covering them, but keeping them out of direct sunlight. Some will actually lose their color. Their color will actually fade. And then, they do say also they do reflect. So like your moonlight and stuff as well. So maybe, if you don't want that energy, bouncing all through your home, you can close your wind curtains and things. Unless you're charging them under the full moon and then you want it open. So clear quartz. is an amazing underrated crystal. This is one of my favorite pieces. I've had for a super long time. One of my first pieces of clear I ever got. It is what they call a master healer. So because it's got such a high vibration of positivity, and emits that loving vibe to all those in its vicinity. But it's also, it can cleanse, it can charge, it amplifies. So anything you put it with, it's going to amplify that energy. So it's kind of a, it's kind of a special stone. That's why I say it's highly underrated. So if you've got yourself a cluster, so like this is what we call a cluster of clear quartz, where you can then sit another stone on it, you can then actually use that to cleanse and charge that other stone, or emit, like amplify the energy of that stone. So yeah, clear quartz is very special like that. It's really cool. I would actually say you can put clear quartz with any oil, because it, like I said, it amplifies. So what you want that oil to do, clear quartz is going to amplify that. But some good ones probably, like frankincense, clarity, because it is really good at, I guess, there's just something about that clear and mentality and clarity oil. So that clear quartz is a special one. And
Tina, can I ask a question? Sorry if I'm breaking your thought process.
No, not at all.
When you say pair an oil with the crystal, do you put the oil on the crystal or use the oil on yourself at the same time as you're holding the crystal, or how do you pair?
So I'll touch more on different options, but so not so much the oil, like some crystals, it wouldn't hurt to put oil on them. Some are more, so some crystals shouldn't be wet. So a lot of, my general rule of thumb is if it ends in ITE, like ite, I wouldn't wet it because they can be quite soluble, like selenite, for instance, it would break down with wetness. But you can apply the oil to yourself and then hold and use the crystal. You can put your crystals like close and around your diffuser. So I'll touch on a few more options as well. But but if you note that anything that ends in ITE, I would avoid wetting at all. So even when we talk about cleansing, I don't cleanse those with water or put them in a oil mix. Now the next two, they do go along with creating a positive atmosphere. They, from an opposite point of view, they are actually good at removing negative energy. So my two favorites for that is actually selenite, because it shields a person or space from negative forces, restores that smooth flow of positive energy, bringing calmness and serenity. Selenite is also another one you can use to cleanse and recharge as another crystal, or amplify its energy. So it's another, it's very similar to clear quartz. I've actually got my beautiful big selenite tower that I have in our main living room. Normally it actually does have a lamp like you can put in it. It's just that the bulb's blown at the moment. But so I don't often turn it on as a lamp, but I just love it with my little two towers, which I'm a Lord of the Rings fan too, so the whole two towers thing's kind of appealed to me. So that beautiful big piece. But you can actually buy a charging plate of selenite. So it's where it's, it'll either be square or hexagon or round, and it'll be like a thin plate, and that you can use for putting other crystals on to, like I said, cleanse and charge them or amplify their energy. So selenite's a really good one as well. Lavender, clary sage, chamomile, sandalwood, and jasmine are some oils suggested for selenite. And then another favorite, and I don't have my black tourmaline with me, is called one of the strongest crystals on earth for its purpose of this. It's very powerful. It's very grounding, being that it's that black heavy color. Most of your black stones are quite grounding, but it actually protects against negativity of all kinds. So including, like, it's really good on your desk or near things for EMF, so electromagnetic energy fields. Again, it helps clearing, purifying, unblocking energy, both in its space as well as in you. So very highly recommend having that one. It's also one that quite often I suggest to people if they're traveling, or to have it with them in their car or on their key ring or something, because it's it's that protection stone. It's really, really good for that as well. And sage and frankincense will be a beautiful, any kind of cleansing, because we know sage, beautiful cleansing, and then frankincense, unlocking blockages and stuff. Those two oils would be really good to use, like tourmaline. I might just, if I can get you to stop sharing for 2 seconds, Chris, and I might
Well, can I
share.
ask you a question just while we're here?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I know it's come up a couple of times about what you spoke about charging crystals. So what are your favorite ways to charge crystals?
Yeah, so I'll share my screen because I did make a couple of, bring it up. From here. Pick up that as a, no. There we go. Can you see that on the screen there? Yep, awesome. Okay, so before I move on to that, yeah, I've popped here a couple of ways you can pair your crystals with your oils. So like I said before, you can place your crystals beside or around your diffuser as you're diffusing oil. You can pop the oil on you whilst using your crystals, you know, on yourself, meditating or whatever, however you might choose, or just wearing them. A good way to do it, like I've got this crystal necklace. It's actually got a little roller bottle of oil, so you can put them together. Same as your lava jewelry, so you can get your lava stone bracelets, etc. You pop your oils all over those black stones because they're quite porous, and then you wear that on your wrist, so it's diffusing, plus it's actually on your skin and you're getting it that way. And then you've got options of like making up roller bottles with your crystal chip inside, or you can actually get roller tops. So instead of your metal top, there's actually, like, this one's carnelian. So that's my little energy booster roll on that I've got, and carnelian's really good for energy. So I'll pop that pop on there with that one. There's a couple of ways that you can pair them and use them together. I'll just go on to the next. Gonna let me. Here we go. So cleansing. Yes. So the beautiful thing about crystals, like I say, about the energy that they can absorb and emit, is that they do then tend to, on their journey through life, pick up and hold and store any energy that they've come across. So if someone else has touched it, held it, it's been in a space, it takes that with it. So it's where it's really important to cleanse your crystals when you first get them. And then if people are in your space or if people have touched your crystals, it's a really good idea to cleanse them after that as well. Because they're like little tape recorders. They kind of remember and pick that up and take it with them and then play it back, like they re-emit that energy. So a couple of ways you can do that. You can cover them, so a container of like your rock salt, good sea salt, and you can put them in that, cover them over for 2 to 7 days. You can actually place them in the earth, super cleansing. But as it says here, point up. So if it's a pointy, choose a pointy stone. Make sure the point is up, because they will vibrate back to earth. They will bury themselves further. So, and generally you want to bury them for roughly a week. So yeah, make sure the point is up and you put a marker or something to show where you buried it. Probably better if you could even do it in a pot of actual earth, not potting mix, but but better in the ground. In the ocean's another beautiful way to do it if you're lucky enough to live by the ocean, and you can just hold them. Just be careful your waves don't take them out of your hand, or maybe put them in a you get your clothes, your little wash bags for your clothes that are fully, not an open weave. You could put them in that so that they don't wash away. But yeah, letting the ocean washing over them cleanses them. Everybody, I think, would know about putting them out in the full moon. The energy of the full moon is cleansing and charging for them. And then another way for those who know how to do smudging or use sage or Palo Santo stick to burn, and the best way is to actually move the smoke over them. So the best way to do that is usually fanning. So same as in your home, you would fan that smoke throughout, and you can just let that smoke sort of fall over and cleanse your crystals that way. There are other, if you Google, there's a few other ways that you can, like like the ocean, you can do under natural running water. So if you were lucky enough to have a natural stream, or if it's raining, don't put them out in the rain. That's super cleansing for them. Again, remembering though, wet, if it's a ITE ending, or even if you want to double check before you do it, just Google it, whether it can be wet. Because there's a couple, like it ends in ITE, like kyanite, etc. Flaky, I wouldn't put it in water, etc. So you've heard me talk about cleansing, activating, and programming. So this is where it comes into play, how to then get your crystals to do what you want them to do. They love to have a job. So not only because they do, they absorb that energy and they throw it back. So if you give them something in particular to do, that's what they do. They're like a little tape recorder. So a crystal can be activated by, I guess, like it's basically you getting in tune with your crystal. So after you've cleansed it, it's very important to cleanse first, and then you want to activate. And the easiest method is to hold it in your left hand. And like I said, way back when with that rhodonite, I had it sitting in my hand and we were just talking, etc. And I could feel that warmth and like humming, kind of the energy of it. And we looked and it was like that bright pink. You will feel something, and I can't say what you'll feel. Every experience is different. Every crystal will be different. You might find one time you feel that warmth, another time it's that buzzing or a vibration or something, but you will feel something, and that sensation's telling you that you've activated or attuned with that crystal. And then you can program it. So programming is basically giving it a job, dedicating your crystal to a particular goal. And to do that is basically holding it in your right hand, and place your right hand then inside your left hand. And you visualize or concentrate on telling or giving that job to that crystal you want it to do or achieve for you. Saying it out loud, much like any goal or manifesting or any affirmation, is even more powerful. And they love to do that. And once you've given it that job, it will sit there happily and just continuously, like a recording on repeat, will just keep sending that energy out there. So that's how you make use of them. A little screen share. How was that? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Should you, when other people, let me start again. Sometimes, because I'm a massive sensitive empath, I want to share my crystals with people. So like if someone's sad, like a family member is upset or they're stressed or whatever, and I want to share my crystals with them, should I do that? And then if I do, should I obviously need to cleanse them and reprogram it again back to me,
Yeah.
but I can share them, can't I?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I would
been
even,
unclear on that.
yeah, it would actually be really strong if they are into it, and I don't think it's all too woo-woo, is to do the process with them. It's even more powerful if they give it that little job or goal to do. If they don't feel up to it, you can totally do that on their behalf.
Yeah.
It's an intuitive thing. Your goal that you're giving it, and if you do it with that right intention, when it's just been newly cleansed, it's going to take that and have the benefit for that person. It's totally fine. Same as if you're wanting to gift one to someone, it's totally intuitive. I've always said, look, just keep that person in your mind, or what it is you're thinking about with that person, why you're looking for it, and the right one always jumps out at you. You'll go home and look it up and go, oh my God, it's the one I need. So yeah, follow your gut instinct. It seems to work every time. But if you're not sure, like I said, Google or grab one of those reference books and have some ideas of what you might be looking for, and the right one always pops out at you. Yeah. And then
I've got some crystals, and I have experienced such profound things from them. Like red jasper for me is just next level, absolutely next level. Every time I wear it, people talk to me, people compliment me. It just makes me not have anxiety, and it makes me so grounded. I love it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's amazing, right?
I've got about maybe 15 of them. Some resonate with me, and then others I don't feel anything from them.
Yeah.
But
they might need a cleanse and a charge, and then sometimes even that activating, that attunement, if you find one that it doesn't happen straight away, put it close to you like wear it in your pocket constant, like don't even think about it, just have it with you all the time.
Yes.
And you'll find, you know, after, you know, a week or two, whatever you try again, you might find that it does. It's much the same as, I don't know if you've heard when we say about an oil, if you don't resonate with an oil, but you know you need it, they say put it on a cotton wool ball in your bottom of your shoe and just wear it, you know, have it on close proximity for a while, and eventually, yeah, you'll start to vibe with that particular oil. Crystals can be the same. But yeah, I'd try giving it a cleanse and charge it up and have another go.
I maybe need to recharge them. I do cleanse them often with the moon, but
Beautiful.
I maybe need to recharge them.
Yeah, so the moon's good because it does do both.
Yeah.
And most of the time when you're cleansing it, it's recharging it as well. It seems to just it pulls all that icky out and then gives it all fresh, ready to go again energy. So yeah, it's really cool. I'd love to live close to the ocean, because that's actually, I've cleansed a few of mine in the ocean before when I've had the opportunity, and it's different new level. I reckon you just feel it. Yeah.
I use Palo Santo to cleanse them as well, which I love.
Beautiful.
I just love Palo
Palo
Santo
Santo
in general.
I mean, and if you're lacking any of those options, we have sage and Palo Santo oil, frankincense as well. You can obviously diffuse it and put your crystals near it, and that a mist of they do the same thing. They're cleansing, so you can do it that way as well if you don't have all the rest of it. It's not a full moon and you don't have the ocean, and and the other thing, if you are a light worker and you know how to, like you said, you've looked at with your Reiki, you know, looking at people's auras and concentrating on using that white light energy, you can use that for your crystals as well, cleansing and charging through visualization, which is really amazing as well. So yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Has anyone else got any stories of crystals they want to share?
I might jump in there with a few tips that I've got there. Sorry, and I really apologise. There is someone intermittently drilling outside my door. So I'm sorry if you can't hear me. Just let me know. And
we can't hear it.
Yeah.
Figure it. Well, they're not. Wait until they do. I'll just jump back into this little prezzo. So, hang on. Let me get that. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to drag all the. Sorry. Drag all the things out of the way. So I just looked up some of the, you know, common manifesting goals that people have, and found that there really were 5 that were very similar. So I've given some sort of, you know, practical tips on how to use those. So here, just some of the different people watch. I'll let you read that. There's no need for me to read a screen to you. You can all do that by yourselves. But really, you know, there are sort of, you know, I mean, as humans, we're very much simple creatures, even though we are all individuals, and I appreciate all our individual differences. We do all tend to have common goals. And so I've just sort of put together a few little tips, very simple ones, about how to sort of work on those in your home. And this document will be in the comments underneath. So if you don't get to finish it now, have a look later on. So here, just there was, you know, money, success, happiness, health, love is really the ones that were all, and whatever those titles mean to you, they're a little bit different for everybody. And I know certainly for health as well is a big one. And I know for Tina and I have had extended health, you know, chronic health issues. So that's definitely one that brought us both to oils as well, and sort of really leaning on them. I chose a couple of oils that are sort of, you know, really basic, simple ones that people will definitely have access to, and just, you know, wrote here about how you can use them. So here, just, you know, diffusing lemon essential oil while setting your manifestation goals can help to clarify your goals. So we know that there's a huge connection between smelling things, the way that affects your limbic system, then changes your brain, the way that your brain functions, and to help you pull things in. Lavender, we know, which Tina mentioned before, I think you mentioned actually lemon and lavender, but lavender, you know, with that relaxation and tranquility, we know that it's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, so that it can, you know, if we need elevating, it can bring elevation, and if we need calming, it can bring that as well. So it's a really beautiful one just to use in when you're working with manifesting. Citrine, which I know, interesting, I've only got a tiny piece of citrine. And I did note too that my crystal collection, of which hardly any of it's here, is quite different to Tina's. So I have a lot of shaped, and I don't know if you can see that. Joe, can you put your hand up if you can see it? Yeah, I have a lot of actually shaped crystals.
Beautiful.
I have less.
What's
I've
the
got
one?
some of the tumbled stones, and then a few raw ones. That's actually a tektite, which is a little bit different. But I really like the shaped ones. And for me, I was a little hot tip, because all of us here are sharing the oils. Side note, oils and crystals pair beautifully. And you can, if you have an ABN for your oils business, you can apply for a wholesale, for it to be able to have wholesale account at crystal shops. Just side note, sometimes you have to have that crystal that's talking to you, but it can also be helpful to do it that way because they can be very expensive.
And shapes in themselves are quite powerful. So even if you go Googling shapes and their properties, or, because they, like, so I say to people all the time, like, if it's love heart shaped, obviously, got all those properties in the shape of the heart as well. So a rose quartz heart is going to be even more like a love stone than just rose quartz on its own. So yeah, there's a lot to shapes, and if you're attracted to it, I would be looking into that shape and its meaning and what properties it has.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that really used to freak me out a little bit was the idea of a crystal grid. And I was like, what is that? Do you need training for that? I always think you need a course to do something. But the beautiful thing about a crystal grid is it's really just picking up your crystals and putting them in some kind of decorative display that you like. And so that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. A lot of people do them under their bed. They have them next to their bed or in their workspaces. And I often find, like Tina, I really love to charge my crystals and cleanse them. So I put them outside outside or near a window during the full and the new moon. And often when I'll do that, I'll put them in a beautiful, and I don't know, I just do it intuitively, so it's hard to explain, but just where it feels right on a towel. My towels having to get bigger and bigger to be a blanket at some point. Just have to only do that when my husband's not home. But just putting them all out there. And for me, I find it very simple. They love that outdoors. I love to get outside and sort of be in that new or the full moon. And so it sort of feels like a win-win in all those situations. And then here, just some simple meditation visualization techniques. So when we talked about manifesting good vibes in your house, we're talking about your personal energy, but also the clearing the energy in your home. So here, if you are wanting to, so for instance, with all these renovations that we've got going on at the moment, the builders have been in the house for over a year. I now sage or Palo Santo the house pretty much every day because they're inside, and to be honest, I've lost my patience with it. So I am not calm and settled, and so at the end of the day I just feel like I really want their energy out of the house. It's not that I don't like them as people, but it's really challenging. I'm in a relationship with our builders as well as my family and my dog and all the rest of it. So cleansing that energy out at the end of the day can be a really nice way to shift things inside your home. And at one point we felt that I'd had an argument with one of the builders in our kitchen. And so we went round that night with a Tibetan bowl and with crystals and Palo Santo, and the children and I waltzed around the whole house, dinging the bell and swooshing all of the rooms. And it was just a really beautiful way to shift things. And we were giggling and laughing. The dog was following us, you can imagine. So it was a really beautiful way. And I think it's a nice practice to share with your children as well.
So
if
good.
Definitely. You're like, can you imagine it? I know you can
yeah.
imagine it.
And never underestimate the power of opening all the windows and doors in your home when there's a beautiful breeze.
Yeah.
Like this, it's not only just for air quality, but it's super cleansing as well. Like we had a beautiful day yesterday morning here. The weather was just unreal. It was beautiful, and there was this gorgeous breeze. It wasn't too windy. It was just lovely. And we ran around and opened all the windows and doors. And just it was beautiful. Yeah.
Side note, Kerry and I'll have a different view about that. I hate being in the wind. Not great. Not great
well,
for
like I said,
energy.
it wasn't windy, but there was enough of a breeze to move the air through without blowing things off the wall. Yeah.
I only realized it sort of, once I was past 45 that I don't like the feeling of the wind on my skin.
You don't like a draft.
Yeah.
I enjoy a nice breeze, but I'm with you. I've got sensitive skin, so I can't constantly be in like high winds, especially in winter. Yeah. But I love a nice.
Do you want to chime in there, Kerry? Or are you, I can't see you, you're busy?
No, I was just typing. I was just going to say, well, the reason that you're super sensitive is you're about to hit the Vata stage of life, and Vata don't like too much of anything. They're like a little delicate flower, little bits of all the things. And yeah, but the wind is aggravating to the Vata.
And interestingly, when you said about to hit the Vata stage of life, it makes me want to punch you in the nose, Kerry.
Oh, really?
So I am a sensitive little flower, it appears. Kerry and I are very good friends, by the way.
I've been, my dosha has been Vata for the last probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
No.
It's not
Oh,
ideal.
well, it's not necessarily good or bad, and you always ground Vata first or balance Vata first anyway. So even if you're dominant in either of the others, you balance Vata first.
So our beautiful friend Kerry is studying to be an Ayurvedic practitioner because she's been obsessed with it for so long. So
it sounds like a class coming up, Kerry. It's a bit unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, I could talk about anything.
Yeah.
Good,
I'm going to just in the because we're just watching times, pull us back to this. So these are some starter oils for manifesting and creating those good vibes. I don't need to read those to you, but as I said, that we'll pop it in as a PDF or something that Tina will work out because I don't know how to do it. So that'll be there. But these are also really commonly found oils. I know you asked a question, Heather, earlier about cleansing your cleansing your crystals with oils, and any of these. So I personally would probably even I believe everything is about intention, and I keep things very simple. So if I was wanting to cleanse my Tektite, yes, you can do it all the other ways, but I also think that you can do this. And as long as my intention is to cleanse, then I'm happy with that. And then I would use Reiki just to ask the crystal if I connect with it and ask whether it's cleansed or not. Super easy to do. If you want tips on energy connection, we can do that in another talk. So very, very easy. It's how I choose all of my crystals, oils, stones, and also what I eat. So there you go. And then just some other little techniques to explore to create your haven at home. I've recently become fascinated with sacred geometry. So sacred geometry has been around for eons, well before we've even been, around. And so that it's all about the study of different shapes and repetitive patterns and designs that are in nature, which is really curious. It's definitely worth having a little bit of read about. And then feng shui, of course, is the way of you can either moderate your home by putting things like Tina suggested, the jade plant or crystals in certain areas, mirrors to reflect energy. There's certain areas that you shouldn't sort of have doorways, but there's always a way to to ameliorate the issues with the building design. But if you are a very traditional Chinese person, you will most likely have your house inspected by a feng shui professional before you would purchase. That's really it's a very firm sort of thing. It's like they won't buy. Can everyone remember what number house that is?
Number 4.
4, no 4s or yes 4s?
They don't like 4s. In fact, they build buildings and they don't often have a 4th floor. So they'll build a high rise and they won't have a 4th floor. That you'll get.
So my first house was number 4 Wallow Road, and then it was 444 Oxford Street. So I'm interesting. I really like to encourage you to have a try. Don't be put off by there being specific ways to do things. Just have a crack, and it's all about what feels good for you. So don't sort of be don't be restricted by thinking, I've got to do it the right way, or you can't do it wrong. If you're doing things with a beautiful intention, then absolutely you're going to be rewarded by the universe from that. And we would both love to hear what works. Sorry, speaking for Tina here, but I know she would. What worked for you? And so I've just popped our Instagram there so you can let us know. But yeah, if you've got any further questions, or if you would like, if you've got questions, or if you please tell us what you've tried, or if there are any sort of aha moments there that shifted things for you, be really super curious to know. Go, Jo.
I have a question. The sacred geometry, is that, I've seen like the selenite charging plates with the sacred geometry on them. Is that, does it have an extra boost as well as the selenite that the pattern is on there?
Look, I can't proclaim to be any expert, but all I know is I first heard about sacred geometry a few years ago, and it was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I need to know about it. And it keeps coming into my sphere. So
Okay.
as yet, I don't know that much about it. We do have a friend, Sabia, who uses it in her healing practices, but it is just it's quite frustrating when you look it up because there are no really satisfying answers. So I don't really understand. I've even read a book and I don't know that I totally understand. I've read a couple of books on it, but there's something in it. So watch this space. I will for sure learn more about it because there's something there energetically. I'm like, I need to know more about that. So we'll see.
It might lead you to an answer of something.
That's right. If nothing else, I'm going to write a really good description online because it's annoying that you can't find one.
Yeah, you could start a Substack on it. Absolutely.
Maybe.
In your spare time.
In my spare time. Yeah. Anyway.
No, that was really good. That was very good. Today I would like to know some crystals for back spasm pain relief. That would be really
Ooh,
awesome.
okay. I'm just quickly double checking to make sure everything. An EO cleanser, Heather, do you mean like as in a cleansing spray, like energetically cleansing? Yeah, I would definitely make a mix with like Palo Santo and frankincense would be beautiful. Sage is another really good one that you could put in a like a room spray. Yes, your question that Cressida about doing like an aura cleanse with oils is a brilliant idea, especially for those that can't be, submerged, wet, etc. Or if you just don't have means. Yeah, cool. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, I'm just trying to think for your back. So lower back or mid back. Okay. So my first thought would be to look at that chakra that is an alignment with. And when it comes to blockages, would be the sort of first thing that I would look at. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling like clear quartz. If you've got someone who would do it for you, a clear quartz with a point, you could get, if you lay, I'm going to say massage term then, but tummy down, and you had someone use the point of a clear quartz, and they, with it pointing towards your spine, if they were to just slowly run that, so far off the body, not on the body, but above the body.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone who's intuitively, into it would literally feel if there's a blockage there.
Yes.
So I can do that to my husband and just tell him pinpoint exactly where he's having issues when I do that on him. Yeah. And then doing those sweeps actually a few times, you'll actually start to feel that resistance go away. So you want to go up the spine and now out over the top of the head and away. It's almost like you're flicking it away.
Yeah.
If you could get them to do that a few times. I don't know why I haven't done that in years. It just came to me like that may be of benefit to you. Yeah, no, that's okay. Because sometimes, because I know in myself that I can tend to hold stuff where it's emotional. It's not even physical, if that makes sense. There's something. Yeah. So I just felt like, drawn to mention that. Otherwise, I would. I think what else? If you can get,
I've got oils on it.
Anything with oils obviously, but anything that's going to have that beautiful soft curved edge, like an egg, a sphere, or even a rounded point, would be awesome for a massage with it. So pair it with the oils and just use it to massage. Clear quartz, if you can I've actually got a massage wand of clear quartz on my raindrop table. So when the kids want a special massage, it's with the wand on them with oils after their raindrops. They love it. So but you can cut anything with that beautiful curve. You can use that to massage with. And it's beautiful. Yeah. Warm it up first, people. Sometimes they're quite cold. Just warm it up in your hands before you start.
That's so good.
Side note, if you guys all know how to do raindrop, we should do a session on how to teach everyone to do raindrop.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll be the volunteer. You can all test on me.
Tina's a little bit far
Oh,
away, but maybe
I
we
know,
can
I
do,
wish I
like,
lived
part Zoom,
closer.
part in person.
Yeah, so I learned raindrop from Alan and Linda years ago, and then have since taught like quite a few people in our team to do it. And even since we've been back here in Dysart, I've shown a friend how to do it. It's just so good. Like, I just can't rave more about raindrop.
Need it today. Really do.
Personally been a huge saver for myself with mold illness and my chronic fatigue. Tim hits me as regularly as he can. I mean, it just
good.
boosts huge immunity, and energy.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Maybe we need
And
to set up a side room at conference in Gold Coast and just have a little.
Oh, don't say that. Tina's not coming and she's devastated.
So sorry, Tina.
That's okay. I've
You
so
would be
doubted my decisions so many times since
Oh,
we
don't.
go. And I'm like, killing me.
It's
I'll be this last minute Charlie that's like, anyway.
All right,
yes.
I'm going to
So
turn off the
enjoy
recording now.
that.
Just
Brilliant idea.
sorry, guys.